everyone, and welcome to this evening's session titled Stories from a Work Team Trip, together with our Kenyan women. This evening's session is part of Path from Poverty's 20th anniversary celebration. I'm Angie Brown, your moderator. I'm a former Path from Poverty staff member and a continuing supporter of this important work. I will be moderating with Kim McCoy, the Path from Poverty Executive Director. Thank you, Kim. Please note that we will take questions at the end of the session. There are two ways to ask questions. You can enter your questions by clicking on the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, or you can click on the raise hand button and we'll call on you and you can ask your question. All right. Let's get started. Enjoy the presentation.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you so much for being our moderator tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you all so much for being in this session. I appreciate that you're here for the entire evening, but it tells me that those of you that are here really want to know what it would be like to go to Kenya and work side by side with the women. And so why would we take a group of volunteers on a work team trip to Kenya? Well, honestly, it offers a very powerful, firsthand, life-changing experience for anyone who goes. You get to not only meet with our 7 regional program managers, but you connect with hundreds of Kenyan women over a week of spending time with them, living in their world and seeing our program in action. It's really powerful. You get to build the water tank bases for several of the catchment tanks that are going to roll in, and you actually see them roll into the home. So it's really powerful. And most importantly, you're going to return home really enthusiastic and on fire, and you're going to spread the word. And that literally helps what we do in Kenya. So is traveling to Kenya and working side by side with these women for you? I think it's for everyone. Anyone who understands our mission and believes that empowering women and that clean water is important. And actually water is life. So it's so important. So if you believe in that, and you want to support our mission, then it's for you. Now, Path from Poverty is a Christian faith-based organization. But we are open to anyone, regardless of your faith or what have you. The Kenyan women are very devout Christians, but they welcome all. It's so cool to go into their world and be in their groups and around their homes and see them welcoming everyone, including their Muslim neighbors and all of that. It's just really powerful. So obviously coronavirus, COVID-19 is going to get in the way of us taking a work team trip in 2021. But the good news is we're going to start application process this time next year, so October of next year. And that process is for us to choose 14 or maybe 12 to 14 individuals who are going to come with us on that trip. You're going to be there for a week and a couple of days. And so now you have a chance to really prepare for that if you'd like to go. There's a full training program that leads up to prior to us departing for Kenya. It's like every other week, a couple of hours. It is required, but we do makeup sessions because we want everyone to be connected. You're going to take on a special role, a specific role. If you like to take pictures or video, that could be your role. If you really enjoy connecting with people and telling their stories, well, you could be the journalist. If you like to gather people together and do debriefings and maybe lead prayer and stuff, that could be your role. But everybody is going to take a role when they go. So we're going to leave in late February of 2022 and return early March of that year. And again, applications for that will be out sometime in October of next year. There are some costs involved, and they will include your food, your local transportation, your accommodations, and a safari. And there's some cutoff dates for that because there's a point where if you can't go and you put your money in, there's a point where if you miss that date, you can't get your money back because a lot of these are what they call prepaid expenses. So what's not included is your airfare and your spending money. You need about $300 US, almost the equivalent in shillings. You're going to need a valid passport. You're going to get a visa, and you're going to get it through us. So you get the right visa at the right time for the right amount. You're going to have consulted with your medical team to get your shots. You're going to get your malaria medicine. You absolutely need that because mosquitoes are everywhere. You're going to get your packing list so you don't forget hand sanitizer and sunscreen and flashlights and things of that nature. And again, you're going to attend all the trainings. Then you're going to end up in Kenya. You're going to show up in Kenya, and there are going to be a group of people, maybe from around the country, maybe people you know, some you don't know, but we're all going to show up at the airport at different hours. And we're going to stay in that airport until everyone is together and we go out together for the very first time as a team. We stay in Nairobi for a couple of days, and it's a pretty decent hotel in Nairobi, not bad at all. Good food, good accommodations, friendly people. And so, but you're going to be under mosquito net no matter what the accommodations are. And again, some aren't as good as this place we stay in Nairobi, but you're going to be able to get a shower. Might be a steamy shower, might be a cold shower, might be a drip of water, but you'll be able to pretty much have some decent accommodations. In Nairobi for a couple of days, since we're there, we take a couple of excursions. So we go to a Saturday market, and it can be either really fun or really anxiety producing. People are grabbing you and wanting you to buy their product, and there's a group of people that surround you, and it's just either fun or not so much fun. But it is something that we do for the experience. We also go to some animal sanctuaries, the elephants, and I love this one because the poaching is terrible, and they get these baby elephants and they raise them up and make sure that they have a better life. We go see the giraffes and learn all about the different kind of giraffes and that kind of thing. And then we take a very, very bumpy road, a very bumpy ride, a long ride, like 4 hours or so in one direction, just kind of navigating to the host where they are. They've put on a great spread for us. They brought people together so we could meet for the first time in their clusters, and they're basically in their communities. The 7 leaders that we have are there to greet us, give us song and dance, all of that kind of good stuff. And well, let me sort of show you the song and dance. Here we go. So there's a lot of singing and dancing. And we do attend church service at least one time while we're there in the community that we are visiting. And so ladies, bring your skirts. And as we're gathering together, we are learning about each other and having wonderful conversations over meals. And yes, it's the same meal pretty much almost every day of the 5 days, but it is nutritious and it is their catering best. Literally, you have choices of meats, you have grains, you have vegetables, you have fruits, and you always have bottled water. But we're gathered together just to really get to know each other and embark on the actual work that we're going to do. And this is work. So this is one of the women's homes that I got to visit, and they don't sit back and wait for us to do the work. They're digging in. She's shoveling and making sure that she's a part of the action as we're building a foundation for the water catchment tank that's going to arrive at her home. We've got all sorts of women, and men too. Men can go. Let me stop and say, yes, men are invited and welcome. A lot of times couples will come, and men can be really good role models. We just want men or women to not get in the way of the process of how things are done. So we don't want to show up and act like we know how to do this. We really want to show up and let them guide us through it. But, you know, we're digging in the dirt. We're just pouring, we're mixing concrete. It's really pretty cool. They're spreading concrete and putting the bricks around. And I want to say, too, that it doesn't matter your age. We have young people that go. We have folks as old as 80 that are taking the trip with us. It's really pretty incredible to see the interest and see folks show up and really get involved. So let me show you that this is real. This is yeah, they're digging. So you get to work. We get to work. It's awesome. And so here's some pictures of just a work site that, as you can see, the activity going on to try to get one of the bases built right there. Chapates. This is a sort of a staple. They're like these incredible tortillas, but 1,000 times better in my opinion. And so while we're there, we're having high tea and we're eating another meal. We eat a lot while we're there, by the way. And somebody's making chapatis. And like I said, we're having tea. So after we've worked, we stop, we have tea, and lots of like I guess I'd call them sort of like little vegetables and fruits and things of that nature. And we're just talking. We're having great conversations. The women from the particular cluster, those that can make it, come and share and so forth at a particular woman's home as we build her tank. And we get to go deep with these women. We get to ask really incredible, deep questions about what was it like growing up having to fetch water? What is it like today fetching water? And they'll ask us questions as well. And it's just a powerful way to really get to know what their stories are like. Sometimes it's very heartbreaking. They might tell you that they walk a lot of miles to get water, and sometimes they have to throw the water down because they're chased by a wild elephant, or they get accosted or raped by what they call a wild man. So it can be really interesting and heartbreaking. This woman was pretty fun because she was trying to figure out how she could get there by bus or boda, which is the motorcycle scooters, how she could get to Seattle, as we were talking about Seattle. But they'll ask you questions like, how do you get your water? Or what's life like for your family? Or does your husband beat you? And something like that just comes out of the blue and you're like, whoa. And you have real good conversations with them about life. Here's a finished water catchment base and a group of folks standing around, including our PMs, the family that has gotten this base, and some of our work team as well. So it's really a beautiful thing to have that product. The real fun comes though when the tanks come rolling in, and you get to see how joyful folks are about those tanks. And this is what a tank looks like when it's at a home. This was our host home when I went this year, and but that's a tank that is catching water, and it's really changing lives. We have celebrations, and it's amazing. So it's so wonderful to celebrate with these women. The cool thing about this celebration is that they bring their items that they've created, their handcrafted items, and they sell them. So we're able to buy baskets and jewelry and just sort of artwork and stuff directly from them. And that helps them to meet what we call their targets, where they're able to put a little money, for their family, and put money into the pool so that the most needy women in their group can actually get a tank. And it's really powerful. So there's a lot of celebrating. And more celebrating. Yeah, you will get your dance on for sure. You're going to party and celebrate and love and have such great spirit, and it's just amazing. So a couple of things that the work team trip gets to do, a group actually gets to do, is have special sort of excursions. And on the trip that we did this last year, or earlier this year actually, we went to a school for special needs children, and we were able to bring like cookies and milk and that kind of thing, and actually give the school some extra supplies and stuff. It was really pretty fabulous to be a part of that. We were able to go out and plant trees. There's a river where there was an oil spill about 6 years ago, and a lot of stuff had died off and so forth. So we had the opportunity to actually plant trees on this trip in that area. And then my favorite part in the excursions was when we had this group that came out and did song and dance for us, and we were on our feet just in the spirit of all of it. And every night after we get back to our hotel, we do a debriefing, and it is a very powerful debriefing because we're there with our 7 regional program managers, and we've had quite an experience hearing the stories and and all of that from individuals. And we've been broken off into groups. We come back in the evening, and it's a remarkable way of just sort of sharing that experience. There's talking about what we've experienced, and talking about things in our own lives and how we're impacted and affected by what we are being a part of. And it's really, really powerful. There's prayers and there's praise and there's just love for each other. And it really helps the group really sort of solidify. And then after that, we actually get to debrief. We literally get to be at a safari park. This one is Savo, and it's like 5 stars, really. I mean, as these things go, this is a 5-star adventure. So we had awesome food, like a lot of variety of food. We had in my hotel right underneath the balcony, literally underneath the balcony. I was sharing it with the room with my friend Dale, and there was a Cape buffalo, like literally under the balcony. There's a lot of baboons, and they tell you to keep your windows closed because the baboons like to get in and steal your stuff. So it's quite an experience. And, this is different than going to the sanctuary. This is a picture that I took, and seeing an elephant like that with those tusks, pretty amazing. So you get to go out on excursions, sort of safari rides, day and evening ones for a couple of days. It's really quite powerful. And so just some pictures of just different animals and so forth. And this is us. These are members of our group kind of on that last day doing a kind of a celebration outdoors and what have you. It's really, really wonderful. There's an impact, a significant impact on people, as I said in the beginning, when they go. And so I just have a couple of folks here that are going to share how they were impacted. And I think you're going to really feel the love.
Howdy, boo. Howdy, boo. Welcome. My name is Moira. It was a name that was given to me by a wonderful woman in Kibani, and I feel privileged to be able to carry it. I went with PFP, Path from Poverty, both in 2018 and 2019, and witnessed firsthand the impact this program is having on the lives of these beautiful and hardworking women and their children and their families and their children. It's heartwarming to see how these cluster groups have managed to strengthen relationships between the women and allow them to support each other. When I watch the interaction, they certainly show God's love. And there are 2 words that come to mind: caring and sharing. Not only are they caring for the physical needs, but they are also caring for their spiritual needs. As in John 1, it says, "For though we have never yet seen God, when we love each other, God lives in us, and his love within us grows ever stronger." Amen. 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 This is what we heard the women singing every time they got together. They worked and treated each other with song and praises for God. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
And this is Linda, and her story is one to really pay attention to.
My name is Linda Fairchild, and I went on 2 work teams. First one was in 2019, and then again, I went earlier this year in 2020. The biggest thing that impacted me on this most recent trip, I had a chance to walk for water. Now, I've heard for years about the whole point of getting women water tanks is so that they don't have to walk for water anymore. But I didn't really fully understand what that meant. So every day these women, if they don't have a tank, have to walk for water for their family. And it's between 2 and 5 kilometers one way every single day. So I got to walk for water. I went and filled up the same kind of jerry can that they use. It's a 20-liter jerry can. It weighs about 45 pounds full. They helped me to put the strap around it, and I put it around my head and carried it behind my back for about, 2.5 kilometers. And it was the hardest thing that I have done. It was hot. I was sweaty. I was tired. It was digging into my back. It was digging into my forehead. And I wanted to quit. But I thought, how can I quit? These women have to do this every single day. It's hard for them every single day. I was walking on a flat road. I was walking in a safe area. There was no danger to me as I was doing this. When I got done, took it off, I drank a big bottle of water and I thought, I don't have to do this again. That was really hard. I don't ever have to do this again. These women have to do this every single day of their lives if they don't have a tank. If they have a tank, they have water that's clean, that's fresh, that they don't have to walk for anymore. And until I walked for water, I didn't really fully understand what that meant, what that impact really was to them, and how hard it really is every single day to have to walk for water.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. That was incredible. It felt like I was there, that we were part of this trip already. I hope you all have learned enough to pique your interest and that you will consider joining a future work team where you will work side by side with our women and learn from them. And of course, enjoy a world-class safari before you return home. Okay, now let's answer a few questions. Kim, can you tell us how many tanks you installed in the 2020 trip?
So thank you for that. And thank you all for being here this evening. So 2020, back in February and early March, we did 15 the week that the work team went out. So that there were 15 that were 15 of the foundations built and 15 tanks installed, yes.
Okay, all right. And the trip looks fabulous. Can you give me a range or what the trip cost in 2020 for each participant?
Sure, it's inclusive of all the things that I talked about, the accommodations, the safari and all of that. And in 2020, it was about 2,900. And then folks would have to take get their airfare on their own. So that was separate. And that can range anywhere from 600 to 1,500, somewhere in between, depending on when you can get that. And then usually we ask people to bring about $300, about 300 US dollars, or in terms of shillings, it's almost about the same amount. So yeah.
Okay, the questions are just pouring in right now. We have Anne is asking the question, what language do they speak and do you have interpreters for during your interactions?
Yeah, it's a great question. We, for the work team, we have the last couple of years, it's just a wonderful young man who comes and does the interpretation for us, which is beautiful. They speak Kamba as their native language, and then Swahili as well. And then, of course, English.
Okay, all right. And Eleanor is asking, where exactly in Kenya are these communities that you're working in?
So we're in the Ukambani region, and so that region is sort of just outside of Nairobi and goes all the way down south and a little bit east, and then we are spread throughout that particular area.
Okay, and Olivia is asking for a little bit more information about if men can participate on the work team. You addressed it in the session, but if you could give us a little more information.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We welcome men. It's usually a lot of women that get together and come, but we absolutely would welcome men. We've had men certainly come on work team trips in the past. As I said, for anybody that comes, we don't want folks getting in the way and saying, well, this is how you do it, and telling the folks that are, helping us to put those foundations down. So we don't want that, but being a great role model and being supportive and being there to sort of share your love and your talent. Everybody can come, men, women, all of that. So you will find more women come, and that usually when the guys come, it might be, as a maybe a family spouse partner or whatever like that. But yeah, no, men are absolutely welcome. And again, when they do come, it's really cool because the men in Kenya have the opportunity to, see these guys working and so forth. And our drivers are men. So there are men that are involved with what we do. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, that concludes our session here for today. We have about 3 minutes before your next session. The closing screen will show you how to donate and visit the marketplace. Please remember that this is a fundraiser and donate if you can. Thank you very much.
And before we move on, I would just like to say to anyone, if you have questions about the work team trip or anything, you can always email me at kim@pathfrompoverty.org. I absolutely want to be available for folks to really understand more about how we do what we do. So kim@pathfrompoverty.org.
All right, great. Take care and thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for being here.